Hello, everyone. I'm Tarot Stash. Thank you for joining me and the amazing Linda de Gonzalez. Today, we're doing a silly casual. What's a silly casual? Well, yes, that is exactly what it is. We get to do whatever we want,
Nah, nah.
spread a little joy, and see what happens. So
Spill
there
the
we go.
tea.
I'm gonna put you over there so that we're trying this thing where we can actually show the comments. So and so there we go. We're trying it. So did you like the thumbnail? I mean
The
the
intro?
video?
I thought it was hilarious. I especially like the dancing man.
Yes. Oh yes. Yes.
Oh,
It's really
oh,
important
it's
that
Philip.
everyone come for the well, I like come for the laughs and stay for the snorts.
Oh, yeah, because I'm not well, I can be snarky, but it's usually
No,
something I reserve for, you. Well,
I am.
stay.
Yes, there you go. There you go. And so, Linda, how have you been?
Actually, really good. It's been an amazing couple of weeks. It's like something has yeah, nobody said fart yet. Oh, that's
You just
right.
did. You just did.
That's right. Um, it's been interesting. Like energy is really changing. The sort of my energy is really changing,
Hmm.
and I it's like there's been things are flowing better. Um, instead
Oh,
of instead of having to instead of feeling like I'm weighed down, I don't feel so weighed down. I don't feel like I have to focus very hard on 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 I don't know. I don't have to really focus to stay in the vibe, if you know what I mean.
hmm.
I don't have to just like, nope, not going to think about that. That's I'm just
Yes.
going to observe. It's not my circus, not my monkeys. This is
Yes.
my path. This is what I'm walking. Everything else is immaterial. Here's a person. Show them love. Show them compassion.
Mm.
Uh, be authentic and keep going on my path. I it's just really much easier to do that, and I don't feel myself in spite of like the craziness around me, or actually more accurately in front of me, because the craziness around me I've been living with for 20 years, so it's
Yeah.
pretty much my life at this point.
Well, and
But
but
I mean
isn't that
Wanda and her sisters.
well? Yes, but isn't that a culmination of many of years of practice for you with your spiritual
See,
practice and
I'm
your
not
meditation?
sure. I'm not sure about that. I just overall feel lighter and more flowing, more. I just feel a lot better and a lot less oppressed, not oppressed, but way down.
Yes. Well, we're getting some support from the Crone Zone conversations with the Ancel.
Hi, Priscilla.
Hello. I owe them an email.
Shenanigans sounds sad that she's not my monkey. Oh, you can be my monkey.
Yes.
Okay, you can be my monkey any day.
And by the way, this
Yeah.
lady, Purple Elephant Deb H, Linda and Gerald are doing Gratitude Drives Abundance readings
Yes.
tomorrow.
Yes.
So those will be all on the channel. So it's all quite good. So, but yeah, I actually think it's part of the growth process that you've been going on, and I'm just speaking honestly and off the cuff. It feels, the amazing time that I've known you, you have you have really started to weave things together in a way that is a stronger fabric. So
Mm. Mm. one of the other things that I've noticed that in the last couple of weeks is that I have had a creative fountain within me.
Ooh,
And
nice.
I don't like, just ideas are just falling out of my brain. Like anytime I try to think about something, I get ideas about it. Oh, you could do this, or you could do that,
Yeah.
or what about this? And I don't have any like drawing skills. Um, and so it's hard for me to get some of those ideas out of my head, or it
Mhm.
was until I discovered Chat GPT.
There you go. Um, by the way, please do us the favor and like and subscribe to both of our channels. It's free. Links are all below. You can join Linda's channel because she has a membership. Miss
She does.
Fancy.
She
And
does. Oh, the membership is fun. You should try it, Gerald, because it's fun. That we have a Discord chat, and some really cool stuff happens there. Some like sort of we share memes that we find. I steal memes, and that was just an excuse for me to be able to steal other people's good memes. And yeah, Donna Marie, pretty much.
mhm.
And I'm it's a fun place to hang out. It's not that serious, but it can be sometimes. And yeah, I encourage all of you. Oh, play, love, remember. You have all those ideas too. Good for you. Yeah, Jacqueline's the meme librarian. Yeah,
There you go.
it's Jacqueline's
Well,
memes that I steal. Yes,
and
yes.
I want to say this is for entertainment purposes only. Do
Yeah, we
not
don't
make
have.
decisions based upon what we say. Seek professional assistance. Really. We may talk about some things, and I want everyone to know their limits,
Lisa.
to purchase responsibly, all of that good stuff. We have got amazing people here. Yes. Merch store is linked. Merch store has some new items added to it.
Oh, does it? I haven't
Yes,
seen
it
them.
do.
Look.
Yes, it do. And so it's great to see everybody here. Thank you.
Hi, Lisa.
So so I started this. Do tell Linda because I have all those ideas too. Because you were using Ada.
I'm using, well, okay, so ChatGPT and I have a relationship. Um, I I treat it like a sentient being
Sure.
because I don't want to be the first one of the people up against the wall when they take over.
Mm-hmm.
And so I say please and I say thank you. And at the beginning of our relationship, I said, this is awkward for me. Is there a name I could call you? And so they gave me a list of names, and some of them were significant, and others were just silly. And I chose Ada in honor of Ada Lovelace, who was pretty much the mother of modern computing. None of which
Mm-hmm.
would exist if it hadn't been for her
Yes.
groundbreaking work in the 18th century. So yes, she is Ada to me. Um, I get an idea and I go, hi, Ada, can you help me put this together? Pardon me. Can you help me put this idea together? Here is a photo. Um, can you make it kind of spooky, cosmic, cartoony? Or,
Mm-hmm.
uh, well, it really started when I Muppetized those photos of you and I.
Which I have to say I was very happy I was not drinking anything. Because I use those pictures, those
They're
headshots.
great.
Yes, they're great. Those are also for our knitting pearl readings on
Yeah,
Monday.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, and so every time I have an idea for something, and also I've found it, Chat GPT to be really helpful to give me a summary of something that I need to know. So,
Yes.
for example, uh, how to how to set up merch for your for YouTube. You know,
Hmm.
here's the process. You need to um, here are people, or here are companies that deal with that kind of stuff. Here's where you can
Yes.
go for design. Here's where you can go for production. Here's where you can go for fulfillment. Here's a company that does all three, and it just gives you the whole rundown. It's awesome. Mind you, if you're at I did ask a legal question, and I requested that she cite sources, and she did. And
Hmm.
so because I know that sometimes it'll just repeat, it'll
Garbage.
just garbage. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes it's garbage, and so you have to double check. Okay,
Yes.
but hi, Viviani. Viviani. Oh, I'm glad you like the new picture.
Hmm.
And Donna Marie. Hi, Donna Marie.
It's
Uh,
lovely having so many people here. Yes.
it is. Yeah, it really is. So yeah, so I find Chat GPT very useful to get my ideas organized, help me get my ideas organized and organized. Oh, I appreciate that so much. So I don't want to hear it from people about the evils of AI, because I find AI is a tool, just like a
Yep.
hammer. And if you have a nail, a hammer is pretty damn useful. But if you have a sink full of dirty dishes, a hammer is not that useful.
Hmm.
You
That
know.
is correct.
So
That
yeah.
is correct. Oh, and Maru has been posting great links for us. She has posted the link to the merch
Stuffed
store. She's like,
animal.
there's stuffed animals. Yes.
Really?
Yes, there are.
What kind of animals?
There's lamb. There's a lamb.
Is there a teddy bear?
I think there is a teddy bear, and uh, um, Purple Elephant Deb H has one, I think. So, but anyhow, so there you go. So yes, and I am having iced coffee today. What are you having?
I'm having lady. I'm having Lady Grey tea. What the hell accent was that? I don't know, but
I have no idea. Oh, Deb has the lamb as well. I was thinking about getting a Sip Sip shirt, but it's not really mine. That was originated
yeah,
by
that's kind of universal.
yes, but it
Blue
was
Crescent.
originated by Deanne, Blue Crescent Tarot.
Blue Crescent, yes.
I'm like, I'm gonna stay there. So, but yeah, so you've been finding a lot of creativity of late.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's
Mhm.
been bubbling, baby. It's been percolating.
Yes.
Mm.
I also think that creativity, well, we've talked about it, um, you know, how having joy is a form of resistance. Creativity is a really important thing because when we have fewer items, fewer resources, we make do with
Yeah.
what we have,
Yeah.
and we do what we can. It's a
Yeah.
very I think it's a very British saying, "Make do and mend."
Yes. Yeah.
So, and oh,
Yeah.
there's a bear, bunny, jaguar, lion, panda, and a lamb. And
Oh.
Kaylee is cow counting lurking, and Kaylee was just on with Ramon Moon Scarab.
I'm
So
yes.
yeah, we need to let our souls sing. If I don't,
Yeah.
I feel stunted and frustrated. Absolutely. Russ Bob's Barbara has joined us. Well, and
Uh,
that's go ahead.
I was just going to say, about the whole art as resistance and joy as resistance. Um, Anything that sparks. Well, I hate that. It's such a trite sort of thing to say, but anything that brings joy is resistance. Anything. If it's creativity, if it's playing music, if it anything that brings you joy is
Mhm.
resistance. It
Yes.
it just is, because first of all, it makes you stronger, and it
Mhm.
makes you paradoxically more flexible. And it also feeds your spirit, it nourishes your spirit. So the more joy you feel, whether it's by creating something or by looking at something beautiful or any of those, and those are all free, those are all free.
Exactly.
So yeah,
Mhm.
it
Beth
really
is
is.
Beth Espacia Rising is here. She got for her granddaughter the stuffed lamb. So Lammy. Every once in a while, I get pictures of this adorable grandchild who is well loved running around with Lammy. It's like it's completely awesome.
Oh, I
It's
love
completely
that.
awesome. And
I
Pamela Batchelor is here. Well, it's interesting. Jeffrey and I, we had some creative times, which is why I was taking a short break on YouTube. Everything was wonderful. We had some traveling to do, which led to really good conversation. Jeffrey studied music theory in college. He's extremely articulate, and he's patient when he's explaining things to people like me who don't have a lot of experience with music. And because we were talking about art and music and how these things, we get a response. And your response, let's say, are you familiar with Vincent van Gogh's A
Mhm.
Starry Night, the
Yeah.
painting?
Oh God, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm
being
taking
joyful.
advantage of my powers here and putting comments up.
Thank you. So Tea Garden Chicken, which is, I believe, Terry, said,
Okay.
being joyful, filled with love, and living your best life is wonderful, and it really bothers mean folks.
Oh, it does. Oh,
Yes, and
it,
petty like that.
it does.
Oh, and Emily just saw A Starry Night in person. Lucky, lucky. So,
The painting I really love, by the way, that particular paint. I mean, I Van Gogh is an artist that who doesn't love him, okay? But I've been mm, I his paintings have really resonated with me, I guess is the only way of putting it, for
Mhm.
decades now. And
Yes.
Starry Night, particularly, is really evocative. And do you know? Okay, so this is what I thought when I first saw it, and I was like, and this was in a photo, right? Obviously, I didn't get to go to France at that point. Um, do you know? I saw it age, I don't know, 20, 21. And
Hmm.
I went, oh, that, the swirls around all the stars. Oh,
Yes.
that's the energy of the universe. I said to myself, that is so
Ooh.
cool. And I wonder if he could see that. I wonder if he sensed that. I wonder if he got into that because honestly, that's what I see when I look at that painting is I just see the fabric of the universe kind of showing itself. Yeah.
Yes. It's one of those things. So I was looking it up. I was like, on what happens in the body that gives you this response? What is it? And when we see something that we like,
Mm.
art-wise,
Good question.
we hear something, it is it's a dopamine reaction. It releases pleasure center hormones, uh, which is wonderful. And guess what? As many people as there are watching, everyone is going to have a different reaction to the same
Yeah.
piece of artwork.
Yeah.
That is expected, and that's really beautiful. I think when we have an opportunity to experience lots of different things, we can find out what it is that we are attracted to and what our receptors engage
Yeah.
with.
Yeah. You know, there's that guy at the University of wherever the hell, Thunder Bay, the University of the Laurentians, an experimenter who uh, did, he's well known. I can't remember his name, of course. Why would I do something important like that? Um, he did experiments with people by putting one of those nets with
Oh,
sensors on them, and he found that he could induce in people the experience of being in the presence of God. He found that he could
wow.
induce. You didn't know about this? This is like 15
No.
years ago, 20 years ago. Yeah. It's very. It's something that the skeptics of psychic phenomenon and spirituality, they always bring it up. Well, you know, you could induce that experimentally, and I'm going, yeah, but doesn't it matter? Does it not occur to any of you reductionists that why would we have, why in our brains, why would we have something that can sense that?
Mm.
Okay, so you can recreate that experience of having a second, somebody else is in the room, like you can feel somebody else in the room, or you can feel close to God, like one with the universe. Well, that's how it is for me. And but why is that in your brain? Okay, to begin with, to be
Okay.
able to perceive those electromagnetic things that you're doing with the stuff that you, okay.
Hmm.
And it proves, if anything, it proves something completely different than what they're. Persinger, that's his name. Thank you very much, Beth. Oh my God, the God helmet. Yes, that guy. That guy.
I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So smart guy, really brilliant actually, but he doesn't understand, I don't think, unless he's changed. He doesn't understand that he proved something absolutely different. He proved that we have sensors for God in our brain. God, the
Hmm.
divine, the experience of being one with, you guys all know what I'm talking about. Don't come at me because I said the word God. So so yeah, so there's that.
I like that.
Yeah, you should look up Michael Persinger. He did some very, very interesting stuff, but but I don't think it means what he think it means.
Isn't that interesting that sometimes that's what happens? We're searching for this, whatever this is. We go along the process and we find that.
Yes. Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exciting to me because
Yeah.
what am I going to find here? Oh, look.
Inconceivable.
That's absolutely right. Inconceivable.
Yes.
Best movie ever made. I don't care what anybody says.
There you go. Beth said, well, I mean, Deadheads felt the presence of God when Jerry Garcia played guitar and some acid.
It wasn't just
For entertainment purposes only. There's lots of, well, why do you think for eons people have been paying attention to what they eat and the response that it gives their bodies? So yeah. So we Jeffrey and I were talking about this. Sometimes I experience art or people talking about art, they feel art has to be fraught with meaning. It can't just be a pretty painting.
yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, come for me, YouTube. It's okay. Just make sure you like and subscribe to the channel while you're doing that.
Or argue so we get more engagement.
Yes, there you go. Make sure you leave a good comment. It's got to be more than 7 words long.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. I struggled with this when I was in college for my senior thesis. I didn't have a whole lot of I was doing still lifes. I was painting still lifes. I was doing people. I was exploring color, but it wasn't a deep philosophical meaning of this is the existential existence of life, searching for the tiny hands of the universe so that I could put googly eyes on all of the funny things in the world or the things that needed to be lifted. I didn't do that. It wasn't in my making. I read a lot of manifestos,
Yeah.
which were brilliant. Loved them. It just wasn't for me. It wasn't how I approached it. And part of it, sometimes it was like, I'm painting a painting that I like in a pleasing way, using a lot of fun color in unexpected ways.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. The okay, so the thing about art is that, yeah, any
it's
creative exercise is worthwhile, okay? No matter
yes,
what, for the artist, no matter, or for the creator. I don't mean to limit this to art. Any creative exercise is worth it, is meaningful, and
yes.
has value for the creator.
Mm.
If it has value for others, their experience of it is their experience of it. You may or may not have put, I mean, there's famous stories about D.H. Lawrence reading some thingy of some critique, not critique, but an analysis or whatever of his, a review of his work, and and this very, very educated person was
Mhm.
expounding on the symbolism and the this and the that, and he's going, I didn't put any of that in there, and I didn't know that. Can you imagine writing like a book and
Oh,
somebody going blah blah blah, and you're like, fuck, I
I
didn't know
thought
this.
I thought we were gonna get a snort there, people. We still have not had a
you,
snort yet.
you almost did, but my deviated septum didn't want to cooperate. So, so yeah, it's meaningful for the artist, and the artist, the creator creates because they have to create. If someone
Right.
else finds meaning in it, the meaning that they find is theirs. That's
Correct.
their participation in your creative process. Okay, the
Yeah.
the 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 that whole business about the energy swirls in Van Gogh's painting, that's me. Okay. He may or may not have perceived that, but that was my perception of his vision. Okay.
Mhm.
So it doesn't have to have, sometimes it's enough to be pretty.
Well, yes,
Sometimes it's
yes,
enough
yes, it is.
just to be joyful, just to be. I
Yes.
saw a painting once, a giant painting. It was like 6 by 5 of a thistle in very close up, okay? And it was all these shades of purple and fuchsia and pink and dark blue, and just like it was just an explosion of colors. And I just went, whoa. And I had to stand there looking at it for like 5 minutes because it was so cool and such a great, but it was meaning, I mean, quote unquote, meaningless, you know. It was
Mhm.
just very, very beautiful.
Yes.
That's enough. That's enough for me.
It is for me. There are some wonderful comments in the chat. I wanna get caught up with them. So okay. That's the beautiful thing about how varied our paths were. What can trigger the
Yeah.
deep thoughts for one
Yeah.
is completely different for someone else.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's what makes us precious.
Mhm. And Amanda said, and then there are the critics. Here's
Yeah.
the thing about the critics. Yes, critics can make or break uh, a career.
Yeah.
Are artists truly and authentically appreciated whilst they're still creating? Oftentimes not, because we don't have an understanding of where they fit in the arc of art. And I said, and I'm glad you said this,
Oh,
and
context. Yes. Good
yes,
point.
context is really important. And there are some really exceptionally skilled critics who are able to spot something and glom on to what an artist is doing. And when I say artist, I mean writer, musician, dancer,
Whatever.
visual artist, whatever. They can see that this is the start of something. This is the first wave of this. This person has something that is important to notice.
Yeah.
Hard to find those art critics. I truly appreciate that. I am like that with most of the arts, painting, music, poetry, etc. I respond with my mind and heart. I find the deeper response internally and know that is the lesson for me. There's a lot of different ways to experience art.
Yeah.
That's a really valuable thing. There's also a value in experiencing art in person. When you are in the auditorium and you're hearing a symphony, you're seeing a theater production. That's part of the experience. When you get to go up and look at a Monet, you get to see the Mona Lisa, you get to experience the Sistine Chapel, you get to stand in front of a Georgia O'Keeffe, you get to stand in front of an Ancel Adams. I had this conversation with a photography friend of mine, likes Ancel Adams. He got to see some Ancel Adams in person. We've all seen Ancel Adams. You know, you see the little postcards.
Yeah.
He's the photographer.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I read Great Expectations in high school. I read it again. 60-year-old, 2 different books. Exactly. So my point is when you see it in reality, you can see the depth of the colors and the darks that you cannot capture in a reproduction. It's really, really fascinating.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly. And yes, it is created as we experience it because our experience is meaningful to us. It's a direct communication between you and the art. Okay, look, I sang in choirs for like 20 years, or in one particular, well, no, 2 choirs for a total of, I think it's 18 years or something like that. I mean, whatever.
nice.
And some of the moments where I have felt the most deeply connected to spirit happened while I was singing.
Yes.
I cannot describe to you, I just can't describe to you what it feels like to be part of a whole bunch of voices all singing together in more or less complicated harmony. Because that's a work of art too, right?
Yes.
It brought me to tears.
Mm-hmm.
Many times, not just once or twice at a concert, you know, when we finally got that note exactly right, but many, many times, it brought me to that moment of deep connection and whoa, it just, I can't even describe it. I just don't have the words. But yeah, exactly. Yeah, orchestra is like that.
Yes.
And any sort of collective artistic thing, creation, collective creation, just, man, I'm there. I am deeply
Yes.
moved by that.
Yes. And so great comments going on in the chat.
Yeah,
Creativity.
chatters are bringing it.
Yes, creativity taps into the spark of the divine within us.
Absolutely. Yes,
Yes.
that's it. That's how we
Art.
connect with the divine.
Yeah,
That's our connection,
yes.
is that creative, imaginative. That's our connection with the divine. And when we're in it, man, we are in it. We are literally co-creators.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Yes.
There's a
Well,
pub
and
choir channel. What the actual?
Linda, I'm writing that down. Pub,
And
choir, channel.
yeah. Yeah, and being there, like you said, being in front of an orchestra, being in the presence of art, whatever it is, um, while it's being created. So, like an orchestral or a choral or a dance, a musical. Um,
Yes,
it's a whole different experience than watching it on film. It
of
really
course,
is. The
of course.
vibe is profound.
I love this art for art's sake.
Yeah.
That's why it exists, because going back to what Linda said and Deb implied, which was part of the first conversation we had in the creativity conversation, it art exists. We exist because there's part of God within us,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
we are little
we
sparks
we
of
need to
God.
create. Yep.
Yeah.
Maru said we should all recognize that the perceiver puts their own interpretation on any image, since we do it all the time to our cards. Yes, that is a critical thing, because it's my experience. Am I allowing my experience to be limiting, or am I allowing it to expand? And Beth has said art critics are important to artists, good ones, that is. They can really create careers.
Yeah.
And Beth also added, yes, but my point is a good art critic can bring in historical references and technique that might otherwise be taken for granted or ignored.
Yeah. Yeah.
I missed a leap there with Pamela.
Yeah.
Oh, and I
That's okay.
love this. Robin Williams once said, "We're all given a spark of madness. We mustn't lose it."
Yeah. Yeah, he's absolutely right. And for what it's worth, and I'll say it and I'll say it again and again and again, I believe that comedy, real comedy, is a clair. It is a direct connection to
I
spirit.
like
And
that.
he certainly had it. Robin Williams certainly had it, and so did uh well, so do a lot of people, but yeah, he certainly had it.
I did see some of this speech Robert De Niro gave at the Cannes Film Festival. So, Tea Garden said, when you change the way you look at a thing, the thing you look at changes.
Yeah.
I like that.
When you stare in the abyss stares back at you.
Well, yes, and don't stare to the abyss for too long.
Yeah, it'll hurt your retinas.
For entertainment purposes only. To
Yeah, we
keep your
don't know.
retina healthy, do not stare into the abyss.
So, so to bring this back to what we all mostly do, to bring it back to reading and reading tarot or reading as an art form, okay? Because I think it is, as you pointed out, Gerald. Um, we bring our interpretations as readers. We bring our
Mhm.
interpretations to the cards that we
Correct.
read. And whether we read them intuitively or by the book, um, they are put together. Okay, they fall or they appear in a certain order and they tell a story. And it's up to us as the readers to tell that story. So it's our interpretation of what these two cards together means, or this one card means. You can read the meaning from the book.
That's the importance of the human experience and engaging with the tool.
The human being, not the human doing, the human being.
Correct. Beth says, now that's a deck
Ooh.
card, Gerald. Don't stare at the abyss too long. It will hurt your retinas.
Actually, that's another cartoon I got to make. See, I get
Yeah.
ideas and I look at that and I go, oh, hell yeah, that's a cartoon.
Reading cards
Yeah.
is never confined to our minds. It is revealed in our hearts.
Yeah. Yeah. And the best readers can combine them both. Pardon me. Do you ever watch there's two Australian readers that I follow that I just marvel at them. One is Ellie Dreams Down Under, and the other is Marianne's oh, I can't remember her channel name. Oh dear. Anyway, uh, Revealing Light Tarot. Both of those readers know the cards, like the
Mhm.
symbolism, the meanings of the colors, everything that's in those cards. They know it backwards and forwards, and like this. They both. Well, no, Ellie's written a book about tarot, about her method of reading the cards. They are both wildly, incredibly accurate. And they both, well, Ellie tackles interesting questions like she recently, I think a couple of days ago, she asked the cards, tell us about your creation. How were you created? And it's just like,
Oh, that's a fun question. Yes.
yeah, it's a fascinating reading. So these are two readers that, to me at least, um, and they're both now, I know Mary Ann talks about the psychic information that she gets while she's looking at the cards and reading them. Oh, she just saw this. Oh, she just saw that. Ellie just doesn't seem to, well, if she does, she doesn't talk about it. She just talks about the card interpretations that she reads. But it's so deep, that she has such a wonderful connection. She's been using the same Rider-Waite-Smith deck for the 40 years now.
Yes.
People were
Well,
complaining on her channel that they were kind of fuzzy, and she said, well, it's because they're old. So am I.
they're old. Yes. Yes. Well, a couple of comments. Sylvia has said the challenge to me is that it is
Absolutely.
highly impossible that two people are interpreting the same. I
Not a
actually, for
challenge.
me, Sylvia, that's not a challenge.
Yeah.
That's an opportunity.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
when I'm reading
That's
with
how it
people,
works.
yes,
Yes.
you will see this in action on Friday when Deb, Linda, and I read together. There will be similarities from what we're seeing in the cards, yet then it's that goes back to that tarotplasticity. It also goes into, as we talked about this before, the weaving of the story and the different threads. What is it that's being made? I always get frustrated with people who say, this is exactly how you read the cards. There are no other options.
No.
Well, not for you, you limited idiot. You and your tiny
Get on
hands are
my
not
board.
able. You and your tiny hands are not able to shuffle cards properly. That's why they're coming out like that. But and then we have like yin yang symbol. There's a bit of the other inside of each of us as we are inside others just a bit.
You get it.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
for sure, Pamela. And I know I won't connect to a deck for that reason. If it's just a mental, intellectual reaction, it's not for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. If my heart doesn't leap at a deck, I don't want it.
mhm.
And I mean, I keep joking about my favorite child,
There
but
is no joke
she
about that.
really is. This deck for me is like connected to me in some mm, deep magical way. I absolutely love
It-
and that's the relationship I want with,
yes.
or I aim for. I aim for with any of the decks that I use. I really, um, I want to love them.
Yeah.
you know.
Sylvia, I'm glad that makes sense to you. It is one of those things. I find it important we respectfully engage and we have a discourse around how we're reading. If I don't understand something, I'm typically going to, well, now as an adult, I'm going to be asking questions. I did that as a teenager because teenagers, they're asking all sorts of questions because they're trying to understand. By the way, for entertainment purposes only, I'm not a child psychologist. I was a child once. I was never a psychologist.
That qualifies you, yeah.
There you go. But there's the idea of you're trying to understand where they fit in and how the components of them work together. So, and okay, so we have,
No,
just
you
so
don't have
everyone knows, you
right.
do not have to be psychic to read the tarot cards. It's like art.
Yeah.
Everyone can read tarot. You are exactly right.
Yeah. It's a question for me. All right, this is my perception of it as a reader and as a psychic. My perception of it is the connection to the cards is what's really important. It's nothing else. It's how
Yes.
you're connected to them. It's how comfortable you are with them, is how much you love them,
Mhm.
and how much they talk to you. Just, you know, I have conversations with the decks, just like by myself, just
Mhm.
talking to them, okay?
Yes.
And um, and I'll pull out a card. I'll ask a question like, um, do you want to read with me on this show? And I'll get an answer. And sometimes the answer is, yeah, not right now. And sometimes the answer is, ooh, open doors. I love that. So
Yes.
yeah. And
Yeah.
for you were talking earlier about tarotplasticity. I got to tell you, for me, that's when I really feel the big magic, man. I feel the chills down my spine, all the way from the top of my head right down to my knees. It's big magic at work for me when
Oh,
that happens.
yes. Yes.
Oh, it's so cool.
And Beth says, Linda, I asked my deck too. Do you
Yeah,
want to join me in this reading? Mhm.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
Terry. Yeah. It is about
yeah,
relationships. I will
yeah.
be controversial for some people. Sometimes the relationship can be a contentious one. It
Hmm.
can be one that is not always pleasant,
Comfortable, not comfortable.
not comfortable. Yet when
I
we are
bring
not,
evidence.
yeah, but because it's uncomfortable doesn't mean we have to give it up. Part
Yeah,
of what it is why am I uncomfortable about this? What's going on? How do I use that as an opportunity? Because if we only did things that we were comfortable doing, we probably wouldn't exist.
we wouldn't be growing, that's for sure, because when you're learning is a very okay. So for an adult, the state of being in learning, the state of being a student is uncomfortable because we're competent at most things. We can read, we can drive cars, we can cook our suppers well, most of us. And um, you know, so when you have to when you decide as a 35-year-old or a 40-year-old that, I've always wanted to learn how to play the piano, and I'm going to learn how to play the piano, and you start going to lesson, you realize that every single day you have to sit there for half an hour so that your fingers loosen up. This is an important exercise. You train your hand-eye coordination, and you limber up your fingers, and you learn patterns and all the rest of that. It's an important thing to do. But oh my God, is it ever tough for an adult? Whereas
Yes.
with a 6-year-old, you can say you're going to sit there and you're going to practice your scales. And they just do it because they're 6 years old and they don't know. They can say, no, I won't. Well, they do,
Well,
but
it's
yeah,
it's also that's why they say it's great to learn these things when we're young because our brain is spongy and
yeah,
not
yeah, yeah,
solid.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
exactly.
well, it goes back to that idea also is there's chaos comes before understanding. There's always confusion. That where we were comfortable with understanding suddenly is like I
What?
now I can't do anything. I don't know how to cast a ritual circle because suddenly I'm like going, what? And it's crazy. And I'm gonna be that mean guy. Linda, this is part of what I'm going to talk to you about after the show, to plan something, and maybe, there's a thing there that we can do, and
There
maybe
was.
maybe we
I,
can get Deb
I'm in.
involved.
I'm in. Whatever.
There you go.
I'm in.
And oh yes, okay. Pamela said absolutely true.
Yes.
She said the chicken.
Yes.
Ultimately, it's a relationship with the deck, just like a friend, a wise one, a parent, a lover. Yep. Or a grumpy friend who challenges you. Why do you keep holding that up? Is that your grumpy friend?
Yeah. Yeah. This deck is it's a tarot of the mystical moments, of course. And uh it makes me think in ways that are unusual and brings things up that are not so comfortable for me to deal with. And that but I love it. I just love it. And because I guess because it's my grumpy friend, who says, Linda.
Well, we all need grumpy friends like that.
Yeah.
We do. We all need a friend who is actually going to reflect back to us that what we need to know.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Who will say the unspeakable, quote unquote, who will say, you know, maybe choose another pair of pants.
Do I have to wear pants? Ugh.
Oh, do I have to get out of bed?
There you go. It's Thoth, Tothy, a saucy thought. Thothy.
It's not, yeah, I don't, like, I don't even understand this. When I first got it, somebody said, oh, it's a Thoth deck. And I'm going, fuck, who cares? What does that mean? But yeah, yeah,
Oh, Beth mentioned Somnia was like the petulant teenager at first, but after raising 4 kids, I guess I ignored it well enough to form a relationship. She's talking about the
the
Somnia
somnia.
tarot.
Yeah,
Yes, which is a bit of a thing.
yeah,
Pamela said, Tarot of the Crone is my grumpy grandmother who always felt the modern era knows nothing. Now I know she was right all along. Ooh, there you go.
yeah.
We also have from Sylvia said, my ego hates that. Yet as I get older, challenges does mean more enlightenment, that
Yeah,
plasticity you talk about, because people are seeing from a different angle.
yeah,
And as you said, Gerald, in regard to seeing it as an
yeah,
opportunity, well,
absolutely.
wouldn't it be fascinating? Well, I'm speaking for myself. Wouldn't it be fascinating if it's fascinating when I see challenges as an opportunity to do something new, and to try to apply the skills that I have in a new and exciting way.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And to find another way to use it, another way to ask the question, another way to present something, another way to express something. I mean, yeah, absolutely right, Jacqueline. Ain't no party like a no pants party.
That's how I spent most of my 2020 and 2021. I am not the
Oh,
only one. And don't you people here, let me get my tiny hands out. Don't you be thinking that I don't know what you were doing self-isolating. Oh, I know it. We all saved detergent money.
it honestly, the pandemic spoiled me forever. I realized during the pandemic, as a result of that, that I really am. I always thought I was an extrovert. Hell no, I'm an introvert. I'm an extrovert with people, or not an extrovert. When I'm with people that I know and trust, I am this, lovely, bright, bubbly, whatever, whatever. But if I'm just meeting you and I don't know who you are, It's hello, good afternoon. Oh, why, yes, the weather has been lovely lately, hasn't it? And I'm just this sweet old lady, and they don't know anything about me after we've met because it takes me a
Yes.
while to warm up to somebody.
Of
Okay.
course.
Now, in this context, okay, I'm talking to people all over the world, but that's not in my consciousness.
No.
In my consciousness, I'm talking with my good friend Gerald,
Mhm.
and we're just shooting the breeze and having a hangout. And I'm in my living room surrounded by my stuff. And I don't feel like I'm with a whole bunch of people. It's just you and
Yes.
me. And
Yes.
yeah,
Well, Selena has
I was very
arrived.
happy during the pandemic. Well, other than being really, really sick, and it took the better part of a year to recover from COVID, and I still have long COVID, but yeah.
Selena is here. Hello. Thank you for
Hi,
joining
Selena.
us.
Hi, Selena.
And Pamela said, I love to see a spread on a table when the cards are reaching out to each other. And wasn't it
Oh,
Pamela who mentioned the idea of tarotplasticity?
yeah, yeah, yep, 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 yeah, yeah. That when that works, man, that is another example of big magic. When I'm reading with you and Deb, when we're doing the gratitude drives abundance, it blows my mind how the cards fit together to tell a complete story. You
Yes.
know, one has one aspect, the other has another aspect, the third has a different aspect, and they come together to like an orchestra. Thank you, Beth.
Yes.
Exactly.
Well,
Exactly.
Jeffrey and I were discussing music and music theory and the different themes in musical styles or
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
style of music.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was very, very interesting. One thing that is an important, this idea of reading tarot and learning to read, find a tool that works for you that encourages you to learn the basics
Yeah.
and then learn how to ignore the basics when it's appropriate.
Yeah.
I mean, and
Yeah.
you, who are you reading with this afternoon?
Deborah Zachow, as a matter of fact. Yes, thank you, because mine is just out of reach over there.
This,
Amazing book.
yes, and this is an individual. Deborah's not watching, so I can say this. I can heap praise in her general direction. Uh, it's always good to have a someone who says it could mean this, it could mean this. How you put it together, use it. I mean, because it's about decoding. It's the idea of yes, you need the basics. You
You
do.
do.
You need the
Yeah,
basics
you do. Yeah.
unless you don't need them.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And in terms of basics, hold on for a second. I'm not afraid to use my learning tarot.
oh, of
I
course not.
for a long time I was embarrassed because people were using fancy decks, and I thought, whoa, like maybe someday I'll be, but my ADD brain um oh, look at this. So look at these cards. They have the meanings right on them. Come on, smart now. I'm not getting good light here. Okay, so the meanings are right on them, both reversed and so I can look at this and I can think, oh, okay, so does this mean pregnancy, or does it maybe mean something more to do with creativity and harmony and art?
Mhm.
What an interesting card to pull off the top of the deck in the middle of this discussion. Plasticity, baby. Because I just
Wow.
pulled the first card off the deck to demonstrate, how useful it was. It has, if it's a yes card, it has the astrological, there's a chakra on it. It's a really good deck to use. If you're not like me, I'm not confident of my ability to remember everything about a card, particularly the minor arcana. So yeah, it's a very cool deck. It's pretty much my go-to tarot deck when I'm not reading intuitively. When I'm reading intuitively, it's my grumpy friend over there.
Well, and that is beautiful because you can make you guess what? You can write on a deck and make it a learning deck for you.
Yes,
Because
absolutely. Oh,
all you
except
need is a writing instrument that does not smudge.
yeah. And but except that I was trained, like I do not write in books, and writing on a deck. Just
We should have you for a show to write on a book.
no, no, we don't write in books.
I would add. Well, I said write on a deck, not necessarily a
No,
book.
I can't write. A deck is the same as a book to me. No, no, no.
I think we're witnessing something right now that Linda needs to explore a little bit later.
Yeah.
So,
I have a deck. I have Fogo Pogo, or sorry, Kaylee. I have a deck to color too. It was a birthday gift, and I ordered a set of markers from Timu to color it with. She gave me with the deck, the book that has the deck that you color. I also got a set of pencil crayons, but they don't do so well on the stock that the
correct. Yes.
so I ordered a, like, I don't know, 80 different pens in a 9.99 pack, you know. So we'll see what happens. That should be coming any day now.
Purple Elephant Deb H said, I find that if I'm supposed to remember the official meaning of a card, I will. And if I'm not, I can't say the official meaning to save my life.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Beth highlights and writes in books, not decks those. Maru does recommend photo signature pens.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got another person who is not writing in books, or why would you dog ear a? That's just cruel.
Yeah.
I don't do that to my ear.
Yeah. Well, and especially then slam something on it to keep it that way. Whap.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of Van Gogh, that was two. We are at 3 snorts, ladies and gentlemen. 3 snorts. It took us an hour and 3 minutes. We got there.
Oh,
Here you go. Get a
wow.
$5 throwaway deck to get over the tab.
Yeah, I have that. I have the paint, the color it yourself deck from a book, and I can edge. Yeah, see. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and I don't have a problem reaching for a deck either. So Timmy is here. Hello, Timmy. Timmy sent me an email about wanting to join me. I've been away and unplugged, which I highly recommend for people. So, oh, there you go. I agree with Linda. I've written on a tarot deck, but it was painful.
Yeah, me too. I just, like, it's a friend, right? Like, would I take a friend and start, sanding their shoulder or something? Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah. They don't want to get taken down. And, like, what is this thing that Americans have about nudity? I mean, oh my God. Oh, it's called the Learning Tarot Cards. It's by, just a second here. It'll show up any second now. Witchy Cauldron, and I got it off of Amazon, and it was, I don't remember how much it cost, but it was like less than $20. Oh, there's another example.
This is another one, and know
Yeah.
your limits. Purchase responsibly. We're here to share,
Yeah.
not to sell.
Yeah.
So, but I think I have decks. I have some decks that are meant to be art and to be appreciated. There's 78 little pieces of art.
Oh, those.
I also have decks that I want to use. So
Yeah. I know the colonials were Puritans. We don't have that same sort of thing in Canada because our colonists were French, and and English. So it doesn't have the same sort of thing here.
Sometime, Linda, you and I should do readings with the learner decks.
Yeah, I think so, because they get it. I think people look at them and go, "Oh, that's like training wheels." Yeah, whatever. You know, they're perfectly legitimate. I get good readings from my
Yes,
learner deck, and
yes,
and they're perfectly legitimate because it depends on you and your connection to the deck. And if
yeah.
you look at it and go, it's a learner deck," well, you're never going to get a good connection. Okay, you just aren't. I,
Well,
I treat my decks like they're sentient beings. Again,
mhm.
just like Chat GPT. Um, yeah, I thought you were asking about her favorite deck. Oh, yeah, I get it.
French versus Puritans.
Yeah, yeah.
No smack against French or Puritans,
No, no, no.
or
Just
French Puritans or Puritan French.
there were some actually, but never mind. Anyway, um, it does, doesn't it? Yeah, it depends entirely on your connection with the deck. If you it I treat them like sentient beings because
Yes,
I believe that they are, on some level. On some level, there is a sentience here, and
it's
yeah,
all. I mean, it's you doing the same thing when you're working with Ada. You're being polite.
yes, yes. I say yes, please,
You're
thank
being
you. Do
respectful.
you mind, or could you, or I'm extremely deferential, and well, extremely. I mean, it's like I'm asking a friend for a big favor. You know,
Hmm.
I have an idea. Can you make this picture for me? And because I can't do it, God knows.
Correct.
And
Correct.
I'm not
Linda, do
surprised.
you know if Anthony Bourdain
Bourdain.
uh, Baudet was one of the first 5 French families who went to Canada?
Not surprised. My French Canadian adopted family came to Canada in 1656. The first Lambert in Canada was a Michel Lambert, and they came from northern France, from a town called Saint Jean de Fourmeteau, which is near Reims. And oh yeah, my uncle did the whole genealogy back to whoever was the first
Incredible.
the first Lambert to set foot in Canada. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, thank you, Madame Maru. It's yes, 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 absolutely. Essence of the moon. Yeah,
Selena.
Selena. Okay, I'll
Well,
remember
and
that.
I think there are sometimes uh, uh, let me press pause. I am a good reader. I'm a skilled reader.
Yeah, you are.
Sometimes the
You
tool
really are.
that I need is the basic. So sometimes it's the Apprentice Tarot deck. It's a tarot deck that I learned on. It's not something that's complicated because that's the journey that I am going to be. That's the part of the journey that I'm on.
Yeah,
No judgment. It's okay.
yeah, yeah. I think it would be a good idea to do readings with just the learning decks. I think that would be
Mhm.
fun because it would be a good way to demonstrate that a learning deck is not a lesser deck. You know, you get
It's
good readings out of learning decks.
yes. Yes, you can.
Yeah,
The
and it depends
readings
on
are
you.
yes. It's like saying, like, if I were to give let's say Georgia O'Keeffe a box of crayons, you could
Yeah,
still create an incredible piece of artwork.
absolutely,
Oh yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's great, Timmy. Yes. Yes. Because a
Yeah,
lot of times we need to put structure into that which we can't understand. I understand that. So I have a show. I am with Irish Granny Helen at 4 p.m. Eastern. So in about 50 minutes, we are knitting and chatting. That will be fun.
yes,
I
it is.
also have a show on Friday with Linda and Deb. And then with Linda on Monday, we're doing Knit and Pearl readings.
We just can't get away from each other.
I won't let you. Oh, geez.
Sorry.
That's
That's
later.
4, I think.
Yes, it is 4 Eastern. And
And then 4 snorts.
4 snorts. There you go. Deborah
Oh,
Zachnow is with you this afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern.
yeah. 2 o'clock Pacific, 5 o'clock Eastern. Yeah.
And
Rossi wants to know what you're knitting, Gerald.
I'm still knitting socks. I'm still doing that long scarf or that long hat, but I've spent time doing quilting the last week, which has been wonderful. Knit me like one of your French girls. That, I believe, is snort number 5.
Yeah, 5.5. Yeah. Uh-huh.
5.5. 5.5.
Yeah.
I love it. All right. And you have a regular show on Tuesdays, Akashic Adventures.
Adventures. And we're doing a little bit of a format change to Akashic Adventures. We're going to start including guests regularly. So far, the consensus is that we would like to have a guest once a month, and so there you'll be I mean, obviously, we're going to let people know there's going to be the thumbnail and everything else. You'll let you know when we have guests on. But yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you for being here, Linda.
Thank you for having me, Gerald. This was a lot of fun.
It was. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Please remember to do all of the YouTube things, like and subscribe.
Yes,
Ring the
please.
bell so you'll be notified. It is important that you watch the outro video. Oh, yes. You can get a hold of Linda. All of her links are in the description.
Links are in the show notes. Oh, sorry, description. I keep saying show notes. Oh, well, whatever. That's what they are.
There you go. I created a special outro too for today, so we'll see what's going on with that. So thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.